We talking money, we on pop out. She said she want that glizzy, could I pop out? Don't hit me when I'm busy, I don't pop out. Summertime, white toes, she gon' pop out. 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 You ain't talking money, we on pop out. Don't hit me when I'm busy.
Baby, dime la verdad. Si te olvidaste de mí, yo sé que fue una noche nada más, que no se vuelve a repetir. Tal vez en ti quise encontrar lo que en otra perdí. Tu orgullo no me quiere hablar, entonces vamos a compartir.
Baby, no me llames que yo estoy ocupada, olvidando tus males. Yo decidí que esta noche se sale con toda mi moto, mami, con toda mi chale. Yo ando despechada, a loca, bajé con un flow nuevo acá, baby, hackeado. Lo muevo de lado a lado y otro lado. Hoy salgo con mi baby de la disco Corona. Yo ando
Shooter mode, we turning your son to a funeral. To say they don't office, you better be talking about working in cubicles. Them boys had a lot, but I knew the code. Now they debating my numero, not the 3, not the 2, I'm the UNO. Yeah, numero UNO. Me and Drizzy did like the Super Bowl, man. Then it biggest the biggest what? Biggest the what? Biggest the what?
Big as the Super Bowl, but the difference is it's just two guys playing that they did in the studio. Usually send they verses back to me and they be terrible, just like a 2-year-old. I love a dinner with some fine women when they start debating about who the GOAT. I'm like, go ahead, say it then. Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who you really rooting for? Like a kid that had bad from January to November. It's just you and Cole. Biggest the what? Biggest the what? Biggest the what? Big as the Super Bowl.
Got her going crazy, legs shaking, watch her move. Told her you gotta run it up, not the one who made the rules. Left, right, let me see you do it. Left, do it, right, 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 do it. Left, do it, left, do it. Left, run it right, go step, run it right. Left, run it right, run it right, run it right, go ahead. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, run it right.
Girls in my crib, 0 Snapchat, 0 Instagram posting. Got the vibe, my hair funny like London Bridge. I don't care if I saw you in a magazine or if you're on TV. That one don't mean nothing to me. Don't need a shower, oh baby, I need a freak. Lick it like ice cream, as if you mean to be disgusting. It's not enough. Jump my banana, one side I like and no stopping. Push up, you know. Yeah. If I go Colorado. I saw a champagne in my mood. I just see girl from the ghetto. Yeah, girls from uptown. That's the life of a city boy.
Can you blow my mind? Set off my whole body. If I give you my time, can you snatch my soul from me? I don't wanna wait. Come take me where I ain't been before. Can you blow my mind? Set off my whole body, whole body. Make me sweat, make me harder, make me lose my breath, make me water, make me sweat, make me harder, make me
Nigga, wife me. You got another shorty, she ain't nothing like me. About to catch another fight. Yeah, the apple bottom make him wanna bite. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night. About to catch another fight. Yeah, the apple bottom make him wanna bite. I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night. Hold up, if you don't.
All right. Welcome. Good morning. My name is Jason Lipfeld. I'm happy to have you here with us. This is the 16th annual Winter Workshop Series sponsored by the Hostos Student Leadership Academy at Hostos Community College. Very excited that a number of students are here from our college as well as from the City University of New York, the other campuses. So welcome for joining us. We're doing this virtually again this year just because of some space constrictions and because it's really cold outside. So I'm glad that you took some time out of your busy schedule to join us this January to kick off the year, right? 2024 is here, and we have some 8 extraordinary workshops scheduled for this week. And we start off this morning with my good friend Bert Gervais, who is going to take you on a journey. And I have to say, Bert's always been a figure in my life, knowing him as being a man of his word and sort of always sort of dedicated himself to improving the lives of others. So we've worked together on a number of different projects, both in person and virtually, but also Bert has volunteered with us in the community. He stopped by the office. He's given, some of his mentees some information that we have here at the college about going to college. So Bert's a great inspiration to a lot of people. I'm sure as you leave this workshop at the end of this time today, you will be inspired and you will be moving forward with 2024 with a great deal of knowledge and some new leadership skills. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to turn it over to Bert. And here you go. Thanks, Bert.
All right.
Happy New Year, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Amazing.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. First of all, if everyone can do me a favor and just type yes in the chat or just say right now. Check.
Pull up the chat. Okay, yes. So everyone can hear and see me. Okay, fantastic. All right. Awesome. So we have thank you. I see you, Cynthia. I see you, Raphael. I see you, Dane. I hope I'm saying that right. So thank you guys for joining us. We're about to kick off today, with a really special, presentation, workshop, energy booster for 2024. But before we do that, I just want to share and say a quick thank you. Hold on, let me just share my screen. Bear with me with the technology today. Share my screen real quick. You guys can see my screen? Okay. So I want to say a big thank you to Jason. Like he mentioned, stopped by the office the other day and impromptu. I just checked Jason. I was in the area. We were doing something at Bronx Legacy High School. I said, Jason, are you at work today? I'm with my mentee. He had some questions about Hostos. It's the holidays. Everybody knows this man is busy. And the fact that he made time to let us stop by, answer some questions was very, very special. My mentee had a great time. Here's some photos that he took at Hostos. This is one where he's apparently some kind of president, but just goes to show you, Jason created a space that my mentee could feel comfortable. So if everyone could do me a big favor and just just a round of applause for Jason. Clap emojis. It's a big thank you for being somebody who's consistently supportive and helpful. Okay. All right. So we're gonna kick off today. So I'm gonna let you know what the roadmap for today is. So it's going to be a little bit different than a traditional workshop. I'm going to incorporate some spoken word performances that lead into this idea called Kintsugi, which I'm going to break down in a second. But we're really going to learn how to embrace our imperfections as a leader, how to let go of being a perfectionist. Do me a favor, type in the chat real quick if you know somebody who's a perfectionist, or if you're brave enough to admit that's you. Type in the chat or say me. Okay, all right. So we're identifying. All right, we know somebody. So this is something that is a common thing. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna address why that happens, and we're gonna learn how to let go of that so we can be more empowered in 2024 and we can lead from an authentic place. And I'm gonna give you a very good reason of why it's actually important to lead from that place. By the way, Jason, just a heads up. I'm adding I'm joining from a second laptop so I can have the screen up as well. So you'll see me. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Pardon the delay. All right. So we're gonna start off with a couple quick icebreakers just to get us in the right tone of mind. You know, one of my biggest beliefs is that, you know, how you start something and the energy in which you start something, very similar to a new year, is indicative of how things are gonna go with that thing for you. So we're gonna start with a quick icebreaker. I'm gonna throw it up on the screen, guys. Type in the chat. Which one? Do we sleep with socks on or off? Type it in the chat, guys. On or off? Okay, a lot of people are saying off. A lot of people are saying off. Some of y'all don't like y'all feet warm. Okay. Someone says depends. Tariq says it depends. What does it depend on? The people who say it depends, what does it depend on? Help me out. If they're fuzzy and soft, or if I'm too tired. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right. Toilet paper over or under? Oh my goodness. You go into the bathroom, your house, guest house. What are we doing? This is, yeah. We're starting off very spicy. Over, under, over, under. What are we doing, guys? Okay, Estelle says under. Elizabeth says over. Raja, I hope I pronounced it right, says does not matter. Tariq says Eastman. Tariq says under. All right. I personally, I do both. You know, sometimes I'm always running around. I do both. I come back from Costco. I do both. So let's go to the next one. Apple or Android? This is a big one, guys. Come on. Apple or Android? What are we doing, guys? Tell me. Apple or Android? What do you guys think? Okay, Roger says Apple. Sashi says Apple. Dynamite said, I will fight for my green dude. All right. Some people have the green bubble in the group chat and proud, and that is okay. That is okay. But we have some strong opinions on here. Let's go to the next one, guys. Envelope or envelope? Which one? So just put IN or ON. On is probably envelope. Envelope with the IN, like saying it with IN, or the envelope with the ON? How would you say it? Envelope or envelope? Envelope. Okay. Okay. Envelope. You know, it's funny. You go to different parts of the country, you'll hear it said differently. Some people say the first option. Okay. Shauna says both. All right. You know, it's funny. There's I'm Haitian, so you know, the accent comes out like, you know, if I'm in an argument, you know, does anyone have someone from who speaks two languages and you pronounce words a certain way, but when you get heated in an argument, all of a sudden the I have a friend who speaks Spanish and they call it Spanglish when they get very cool. All right, last one. Controversial, guys. Does pineapple belong on a pizza? Controversial. Jason says no. Have you tried it, Jason? Sashi says yes. Kasia says all day. I hope I said it right. Jillian, yep, yum. Elizabeth says it does. Shanna says maybe, but not on mine. That's one of the most inclusive answers I've ever heard. Can we write down Shanna's name? We're gonna give some virtual gift cards today, guys. We're gonna give some virtual gift cards to some winners for participation, but I like what's happening. Sona J says yes. Okay, all right, guys. So I love it. So as you guys can see, when it comes to these type of things, you know, many of us have different perspectives on and strong opinions. And I think one of the things I wanted to kick off this icebreaker is to let us know that, you know, it's okay to have different perspectives. It's okay to view things differently. But just because someone has a different perspective doesn't mean that we have to think that they are less than. It's okay to have a different perspective, but still respect it. So that's going to play a little later into our game. So we're going to go into a second kind of icebreaker game. I'm gonna ask you guys a few would you rather questions. All right. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna be on a timer, guys. I'm gonna ask you a couple would you rather questions, and you guys are going to have to answer within 7 seconds. All right. So just type in, would you rather have more time or money? Okay, Melanie says, I'm sorry, you guys are typing so fast. Cynthia says both. Jaskrin says money. Ayla says time. Tariq says time. Can someone who said time tell me just on their mic, why did you say time? Say your name and why you said time.
Uh, this is Tariq. If you want more time, you can do more things and make more money if you play it in that aspect.
If you have more time, you can make more money. Okay. Can we hear one more? Someone else was said. Okay, so Kasia said time because you can never stop learning. Awa says more time because you can make more money. You can't make more time. And Jillian says time because life is short. Wow, very powerful answers indeed. Let's go to the next question. Would you rather? Oh, someone that says money because it's power. You can waste your time. That's an interesting. That's an interesting approach. I haven't heard that it put that way. So thank you so much, Dan. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, and one thing, time is the only currency you don't get back. So.
Very true. Very true. All right. Here's getting into, I'm kind of getting ahead. We're gonna get into a would you rather. So I'm gonna talk about one of my flaws, a lot of my flaws today, but one of my flaws for sure is I lose things all the time. In fact, I was scrambling before the presentation. I was looking for a certain thing on my camera. So this one hits home. Would you rather lose your phone or your wallet? Okay. Melanie says phone. Jillian says phone. Fareed says wallet. Wow. Okay. Tariq says phone. Awa says phone. A lot of you guys are saying phone. You know, it's so interesting. You hear that. Jason, what about you? I'm curious. What would you say?
I think probably phone just because of the aggravation of having to do all that license and the credit cards, but it's a tough choice. I don't know. There's so much on the phone too.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I know a lot of people attached to the phone. Awa says phone because I can track it, but the wallet I have to pay to make a new doc. Interesting. Fareed said my phone is my wallet. We are in 2024, everybody. We are in 2024. The technology is real. All right, I got another one for you guys. Would you rather have a personal chef or a personal driver? Let's just imagine a world where this is a... Okay, I'm getting a lot of drivers. Jason put chef. Sashi put driver. Tariq put personal chef. Someone want to hop on and tell me why they said personal chef? I'm curious. Someone want to hop on the microphone?
Tariq, again, your health is your wealth, so.
You said what?
Your health is your wealth.
Health is wealth. Okay, that's good. That's good. Kai says driver because I'm a wonderful cook. All right. Well, can someone please make sure Kaisha gets an invitation to the potluck, please? Anna says neither is acceptable. I can cook and I don't need to drive to many places. I travel by plane. Okay. Melanie says driver. I enjoy cooking. All right. Last one, guys. Would you rather be an influencer with 100,000 followers or over 100,000 followers, but not a lot of real friends, or somebody with only 100 followers, but you have real friends, like 10 or so real friends? So do you want the followers or the real friends? Okay, Sashi says real friend. Jason says real friend. Jillian says 100 followers and real friends. Elizabeth says real friends. Estelle says, can someone please? I'm just curious. You know what? Okay, Shauna says followers because I'm helping others. Okay, so we gotta. I want to kind of hear a back and forth. Someone tell me very quickly. Why did you say? Why did you say real friends? Someone get on the microphone.
I chose real friends because in reality, influencers are kind of like holiday lights. They're only here for a second and then they can be easily replaced. So I'd rather have real friends than have to keep finding new light bulbs to replace my holiday lights.
Wow, that is powerful. You said that influencers are like holiday lights. They're here for a second. Oh my gosh. I want the transcript of that. I may borrow that. That was fantastic. Tell me your name again. Who just said that?
My name is Keisha Anderson.
Keisha, that was a wonderful metaphor. Wonderful metaphor.
Oh, thank you.
Someone tell me why they said followers.
I mean, I can go with anything. I said followers because it's like if I'm making income from it, by all means, I will do it. But if I'm not making income, I don't really need the followers. And as well, at the same time, it's like I also have that perspective of I don't really need friends if I'm making a good stability for myself. If I'm okay with one or two friends out of a whole bunch of other people, it doesn't matter. But
Wow.
if I'm able to be an advocate and put out things and be out there and like influencing others to do greater for themselves or like greater in general, then by all means, I'm like gonna do that.
Wow. Okay. So you see it as an opportunity to make impact and, for you and what you value, having, certain amount of real friends isn't the real value for you. Okay. That's powerful too. Appreciate that. All right. So we are about to get into what I like to call a getting present moment. So how many people here have been so busy that they haven't really had a chance to think about what they want out of this year? Put me in the chat if that's you. It's definitely me. Maybe you have a goal or one resolution, but you haven't really had time to sit and be with yourself. Just put in the chat if that's you. Okay. So Jade says me. Jason says me. Okay. So Cynthia says me. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. A lot of us are in the same page. Me too, actually. You'll find out a couple reasons why in a few minutes. But what I want to do now is one of the things that I realize is I went to a training one time and they said that a lot of times we hold on to things, whether it's things that we're busy or things from our past. And I want you to imagine that all of the things that you're juggling in your life, you're holding in your hand, right? And your hands are full and they're kind of balled up in a fist and they can't handle anymore. And I'm trying to give you a cup of water. I'm trying to give you something new. What would have to happen for you to be able to get that cup of water? Someone want to tell me? What would I have to do?
You gotta let go of some of that stuff.
I got to let go of something, right? Otherwise, it's going to spill. I can't actually grab the cup, right? So we're going to do an activity where we're going to focus on releasing. This is what I want you guys to do. Just think about, you can do this one of two ways. You can either do it for yourself. I want everyone to do this. So if you feel comfortable, you can throw it in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable, just write it down for yourself. This is a very powerful exercise. I want you to think about one thing that is stressing you out, that for the remaining time we have together, that we just want to release. So maybe I'm stressed about a bill. Maybe I'm stressed about, do I have a babysitter for the kid? Maybe I'm stressed about, man, my grades didn't really shake out the way I wanted it to. Just whatever I'm stressed out about. I would say I'll start. I'm stressed out, or I need to release the anxiety I have from having said yes to too many things. I put too many projects on my plate. It's not unusual, but I need to release that in order to be present with you guys today. And also, I just need to release. I'm gonna say one more. You know, one of the things about me is like I sometimes have a cluttered mind, and I'll just misplace. You know anybody who like misplaces their keys all the time? That's me. And sometimes I beat up myself about it. Sometimes I'll be like, "Where's my phone?" Has anyone ever had a situation where you're like looking for your phone and you realize it's in your pocket or you're holding it? Like, where's my phone? I'm like holding it. Okay, that's me. So I beat up on myself about that sometimes. So I'm releasing that so I can be present with you guys. So I want you to just take 1 minute and I want you to think about what's something you want to release so that we can be present in our time together now. So just take 1 minute. And then when you're done, you can put it in the chat or you can share it or you can just keep it in your notes for yourself. Shanna said I released the law. I love it. We'll just take 1 minute. I got my timer.
I'm just gonna say mine. I don't really like typing on phones much.
That's okay.
You know, I really want to, I guess I'm releasing the stress from always, it's like people want you to do what they want you to do, but you're doing stuff on the time you want to do it. So you shouldn't stress about what time people think you should be on when you're on your own time.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Thank you for sharing that and for being vulnerable and opening up a lane for other people to do that as well. I'm going to share some others that people said. Jillian said, trying to do everything and putting too much on my plate. Yes, I'm releasing that too. Amen. Awa said, putting my others before myself just to realize I wasn't a priority to them. Oh man, that one hit. That one hit home. I definitely have experienced that. So thank you for sharing that. Melanie says past failures. Shauna says I released it all. Jay says family problems. Yeah, so thank you guys for sharing that. If anyone else want to hop on the mic and just share one more thing they release, no pressure. I know this is a kind of a vulnerable share. Fareed says expectations. Got it. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do a kind of a physical exercise. I know we're in a virtual space, but I still like to. Jason knows me. I like to move around and do stuff. So we're just gonna on the count of three. I want you to ball up your fist. What you're gonna do is you're gonna inhale for 3 seconds when I say go. You're gonna hold your breath for 3 seconds, and as you're exhaling for 3 seconds, you're gonna open up your hands to release. All right. So I'm gonna model it before I say go. So if I was doing it, I'd be like. So we're about to go in 3 seconds, but when we go, make sure that when you're exhaling and you're letting you're opening up your arm, your hands, that you're actually thinking about the thing you're releasing. So I'm releasing the fact that, I say yes to too many things. I'm a people pleaser. I'm releasing the fact that, I lose things all the time. And then I'm always scrambling. So I'm thinking about those. And as I let them go, I'm going to release. Okay. This is, important for our mindset to be present. So on three, everyone, we're going to take a breath. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, ball the fist. Now exhale, release. Keep your eyes closed for a second. Just visualize that stress just being lifted and just released so we can be present in our time together. All right. Just one more time. Inhale, ball the fist. Exhale. Okay. All right. How does that feel? Anyone want to share how they feel?
Better.
Better? Yeah. I would encourage you guys to try this exercise. Thank you. Jester says good. Sashi says same. I actually feel better too, actually. I feel a little lighter. I would encourage you to try this, you know, maybe in the mornings or nights before to go to sleep. If you have midterms, particularly stressful times, I would definitely encourage you guys to try this activity to get present. So this is something I like to do when I start to get stressed out. One thing that I do when I get stressed out, I'm trying to set the tone. If that doesn't work, I listen to hold on. You guys still see do you guys still see my my screen? Oh, you guys weren't seeing me before. Okay, I have my screen. Sorry. Okay. That's an activity I like to do. If that doesn't work, what I like to do is I like to listen to a little baby. Listen to a little baby. It just makes me feel better, guys. I watch that a couple times a month, and it makes me feel better. All right, so we're gonna get into it really quickly. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am and why I care, so we can kind of go to the next piece. Kaisha said, "I love Lil Baby." Me too. And I love a Lil Baby listening to Lil Baby. That's just there's no better combination. So I'm a co-founder of Genius Potential Inc. It's a company that we travel around the country. We basically, it's like Hamilton meets Wild 'N Out. We do these interesting skits at colleges that mix motivation, education, and performances. I was a former Boys and Girls Club director, science teacher, hip hop and spoken word artist. And, you know, I'll get into that a little bit. So I want to tell you a little quick history about my history with Hostos. Jason, how long have we been doing these together?
It's been a while, Bert.
2010, right? I think it's been at least.
No, that's 13 years. Yeah.
Wow, dating myself here. Yeah, it has been a while. So I think that's pretty cool. So here's a quick little collage of some cool moments at Hostos. Yo, what's up, bro? How you been? You good? You good? You knew you? Hey. All right, thank you for coming out.
You're welcome. I had a class this morning from 9:30 to 1:30, and it just so happened that we had a pop quiz. I knew it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to see Bert, and then I gotta go back.
I love it. Let's do it.
Thank you.
All right. So,
but it just kind of shows you, like, just kind of being greeted there, you know. Jason, again, I have to thank you, you know, just had the opportunity to present to your students so many different times. And, you know, it's truly has been a blessing to be able to come to Hostos and feel like that sense of family, that community, just, you know, getting greeted by a student who's seen me speak before, excited to speak, still in touch, you know, giving her advice. And, you know, I'm in touch with other Hostos students as well. Probably more so than any other school that I've spoken at. So there's something really special about the community here. So I wanted to just kind of give you guys that background. But let me talk a little bit about how I got here. So here's the thing. You know, I'm talking a little bit about my bio, but here's something I want to let you guys know, right? So over there on the left, that is baby me. You know, I was born in Haiti. First generation, you know, immigrant. I was born in Haiti, came here, didn't know the language, didn't have connections. You know, we didn't have a ton of money. We weren't poor, you know, but we didn't have a ton of money. I had scoliosis. If anybody knows, that's like a deformity in your spine. I had asthma growing up. So trying to make my way out in America. The picture in the middle, that's Ratchet me. That's when I thought I was a thug. You know, like in Long Island, I mean, I like to say started from the middle, now I'm here, but you know, I was really trying to just prove myself and find myself. And then you know, if you would have told me that person would have gone from being born in a town with no public library to, you know, publishing a book, traveling around the country, that other picture there, that's me. I actually walked in Fashion Week this year in LA, and I was one of the oldest models. You know, I have this thing, I'll talk about it a little later, how like I really get in my head about my age, something that um, I'm uncomfortable about because I always question, have I accomplished enough for my age in life? So that's something that's like a really big thing. And then very recently, myself and my business partner, Det, who actually spoke at Hostos with me in 2019, we were featured on a reality show. It's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it. So that was just something that, again, mind blowing. I'm going to show you a quick little video of the show.
I'ma keep winning, winning. I'ma keep winning, winning.
Welcome to The Blocks, the greatest show on entrepreneurship.
Oh my God.
Shit's about to get real.
Is this gonna be my villain origin story?
We have some interesting developments. Come on out.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So I'm Bert.
And I am Det. And we are the co-owners of Genius Potential Inc.
And we're representing New York. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. Long Island, what's up?
Let's go. We're an edutainment company.
Edutainment, all right? That's education meets entertainment.
And what we do is we help make learning stick by using pop culture, TikTok, hip hop culture, so that students connect with what they're learning in a culturally relevant way, and those lessons stick with them.
We meet them where they're at.
For me, I love so many different things. My first love is music. The first time I connected with anyone, I got invited to a party. I don't know how, but they played a beat. It was a Biggie beat. It was the instrumental part, and I got up on stage and I rapped. And for the first time, I felt seen. I felt validated. And so music is my first love, and I think that's one of the reasons we put music into our curriculum is how much passion we have behind it.
I'm here right now on like 1 hour of sleep because I have a newborn at home. So that's a very exciting new chapter of my life. So shout out to my wife at home. We went on our honeymoon not too long ago. That was super exciting. We love to travel. So we went to Kenya, actually did a really dope safari. So we're looking at lions and tigers and bears. No bears. But elephants, the whole nine, right? Giraffes, it was crazy.
What does build, measure, learn mean? And can you give us an example of how you have or will use this concept in your own business?
Wes, that's a great question.
Or entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so I'll stop there. Leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Did I bomb that question or not? Who knows? You got to watch the show. But yeah, so I just think that that is something that I really still can't believe when I think about my journey. But there's something interesting I want to point out about this. Brandon, I'm 39. So there's something interesting I want to point out about this. So I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm not here to talk about that I'm an awesome guy or anything like that, right? That's not what's interesting to me. What's more interesting to me is, you saw kind of the accolades in the bio, but what's more interesting to me is my story and all of the things that you don't see in what I'm presenting to you. So I showed you the pretty picture, and we're going to talk about the theme of the presentation in a second about Kintsugi, but these are the ways in which I'm broken, right? And broken, not like, in a bad word, but I'm just saying how society would perceive me as broken, right? So as an adult, I got diagnosed with, being bipolar. And if anybody's not sure what that is, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain where you have very high highs that are followed by very low lows, right? So I didn't know that about myself until I was an adult, and it made a lot of sense because I was the student that would, in college, I would be on Dean's List one semester, and then I'd be on academic probation or being darn near failing out the next semester. And people were just like, I don't get it. Like, how can you be so high and then so low? Like, it's the same student. Like, no one could figure it out. I have these depressive episodes that happen every 3 months for whatever reason. Has anyone ever heard of the, I don't know the exact term, but it's like that seasonal depression that happens around Christmas or the holidays? Has anyone ever heard of that idea? It actually happened to me recently during the holidays. Good things were happening. I like was struggling to feel good, struggling. I remember I couldn't explain it, telling my loved ones, like, I don't know why this is happening. It's like a weighted vest, a weight on my chest that I can't lift off. So that's something that I deal with. And then as an adult, I got diagnosed with ADHD. So one of the things that is part of what I was releasing is this, just being okay with the fact that I get distracted. I chase shiny objects. I want to try to do too much. You know, part of my journey has been trying to embrace these areas that I'm perceived as broken. But I want to talk about that today, and leading from an authentic place, because it's very easy for me to throw up a bio or some videos of me looking cool and just say, hey, you know, I'm a leader. But the truth is, you know, it's more like, I don't know. Has anyone ever seen that picture of the duck, right? It's on top of a pond, and on top of the pond it looks very graceful, but beneath the pond it's kicking furiously. So that's a large part of what I'm like all the time. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. All right. Hold on, just gonna look at the chat. Looks like some people are writing some stuff. Someone said I didn't even put up my tree this year. Neither did I. It was related to that as well. So thank you for sharing that. So let's talk about. Let me see. Hold on a second. Oops. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen again. So I want to talk about the idea behind the presentation. So you guys saw the title of the presentation. It's called Kintsugi. Before I break it down, can everyone just tell me in the chat, what school are you at? Because I know they invited all of CUNY. What school are you coming from? And then what made you join this presentation? Like, why did this title, like, why did you come here today? Like, what were you hoping to get out of it? Just put in the chat, or you can say on the mic your school and what you were hoping to get out of today.
Well, I go to New York City College of Technology, and I am an aspiring leader. We have a few similarities and stories coming to New York with nothing. I'm part of the National Society of Leadership and Success chapter at City Tech, so I felt like this would be a really informative and fun thing to do during winter break.
Fantastic. And who was that just spoke?
Keisha Anderson.
Okay, thank you, Keisha. I'm hearing some other folks too. Farrah at BCC. Awa says Lehman College. Angela said City Tech. I'm hoping to become a better leader. Diana says School of Professional Studies. Jillian said School of Professional Studies online program, learning how to be a better leader. Cynthia says Hostos Community College to learn and improve. QCC said to become a good person and leader. Anna said City Tech. Okay, dope. So I'll make sure I address all of those things that you guys are talking about, like wanting to improve, wanting to be a better leader. Adrian said from City Tech, I was curious about what would be taught about. I've been told I'm a leader as well too. Adrian, that's great. That's a great observation. And that's a great thing that people are observing about you. So I want to, Shanna said, John J. Jason invited me, so I am present because I had the time. Okay, fair enough. So I'll make sure you get value too. So when I say kintsugi, what is it? So kintsugi is it's this Japanese art of repairing pottery with gold, right? Kintsugi actually means to join with gold. And the idea behind that is, in this Japanese custom, let's say you break a bowl, like I break things all the time, you wouldn't throw it away. You would put it back together and you would fill the cracks with gold. So the analogy is, we want to spend some time today looking at, or I'm going to look at, and we're going to look at the cracks we have as leaders, and we're going to embrace that with gold. Because the main takeaway from today is very simple. You have to embrace what's broken in you to find what's golden in you. I'm going to say that one more time. You have to embrace what's broken in you to find what's golden in you. Everyone do me a favor. When I say embrace what's broken in you, type in the chat to find what's golden in you. So guys, you have to embrace what's broken in you too. Type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. Let's start to get some muscle memory on here. Yes, to find what's golden in you. Absolutely. So we're gonna I'm gonna perform a spoken word piece, kind of speaking to that. All right.
Check, check. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Someone get on the mic, let me know if you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, I
feed all of my problems, I keep them alive. Parts of my past that I thought I had buried emerged in my dreams. Those dreams are disturbing. For once in my life, I refuse to be shackled by chains of depression and nooses and fear. Toxic emotions. I thought I was golden, then I turned around and the goose wasn't there. Live for today.
just live in the past where pieces are broken. I'm stepping on glass. The glass is half empty.
The bank isn't lending. The smiles I was faking. My pain, it wasn't trending. Start at the end because I hate the beginning. The end is the start, and the start's of the illusion. Life is a circle. I'm always in movement. Work in progress. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's break that down real quick. Now, I ended that spoken word piece with the word work in progress. What do you guys hear, or what comes to mind when you hear that term, work in progress? See what you guys are saying. Okay. Malika said under construction. Shanna said self-awareness. Raphael said accomplished. Jillian said always learning. Now, do you guys think as a finished leader, as a leader, we have to be a finished product? Is it okay to be a work in progress? What do you guys think?
Everybody is constantly a work in progress because you could never stop learning. There's too much information in the world.
That was great. You can never stop learning. Who said that?
Keisha Anderson.
Thank you, Keisha. So, Chana, that's very interesting. You think that leaders should be a finished product? Chana, can you tell me why you feel that way?
Sorry. I think that in order to be a leader, that you need to first remove the plank out of your own eye so that you can effectively help others to get to where you are. So I think as a leader that you need to work on yourself so that you can properly lead others.
Absolutely. Working on yourself is very important. It's interesting that it's interesting that you perceive leaders as a finished product. We're gonna touch on that.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, in the area where you're leading. I don't think that, you completely, like the other person said, you're never a finished product. We always have to learn. There's always, more to learn, and we can always be better. But I think when you're leading something that you should know what you're doing, and you should, be able to effectively lead others in that area. Or I feel like then people end up making those same mistakes that you are, or or getting misguided.
Got it. So what you're talking about there is credibility. That's very important. I agree. Very important. I want to read a couple other words. Malika said, it's okay. My favorite quote is simultaneously a masterpiece and a work in progress. Raphael said, learning is a part of the growth and progression. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Now, here's what's interesting. Also in the spoken word, I said, toxic emotions. I thought I was golden. Then I turned around and the goose wasn't there. Has anyone ever been in a situation where you thought things were finally going to go right for you, but then they failed again? Like, I'll start. Like, I had so many different times as a music artist where I felt like I was making progress. I'll tell you this funny story. In 2015, I wrote, produced, and recorded 15 songs. Guess how many songs, put in the chat, I actually put out to the world? Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Someone said 3, someone said 5, Julian said 1, Malika said 1. You guys are very, very, Raja said 1 or 2, Sashi said all. You guys are very generous. The answer was 0. Hollowed out Oreo. Nothing, zilch. I put 0 music out. I had this thing where I was so afraid of being critiqued or judged. So I spent money and I created these songs and I thought, oh, I'm finally taking a step. It's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And it didn't work out that way. So, that's one of the things that you'll notice too, is a very important takeaway with leadership. Leadership is not a straight line. It's not linear. I'm going to tell you more about where that story went, but it doesn't mean that everything has to go. Sometimes you'll make progress in a certain area and then you'll take a step back. I don't know if anyone has ever tried to lose weight. This has happened to me all the time. I will lose 8 pounds and then I'll gain 5. Then I'll lose 6 pounds and I'll gain 4, right? So I'm like, I'm finally making progress. And then I'll like get off my diet and then I'll struggle again, right? So leadership, but the idea is to not give up. It's continuing to work on yourself because it's not a straight line. All right, so I'm going to talk about the first part of Kintsugi right now. So the first concept is see beauty in your flaws because they make you unique. See beauty in your flaws because they make you unique. So I'm going to talk about some of my flaws, right? People pleaser, say yes too much. Don't set boundaries, selfish. I make excuses. Some people would say the whole like ADHD thing is a flaw, but one of the things that I realized is because my mind is always focusing on so many things at once, I actually have a strength where I really have ability to find order and chaos. Does anybody know somebody that knows how to find order and chaos? Like for example, like maybe you're the person that likes everything prepared, agenda. Have you ever been in a situation where you walk into a student leadership meeting and you had an agenda, but immediately when you walk in, things are not going to plan, people are interrupting, or you guys are off topic, and right off the bat, what you thought the meeting was going to be, it's something different and you have to think real time. Has anyone ever had that experience?
Yeah, so I've had ADHD my whole life. And last semester, I volunteered for new student orientation. And I thought I was just going to be helping move things around, and they actually got me to get on stage and talk to students with no preparation. They were just like, yeah, you're perfect. So.
Right. Yeah. So we have to be prepared for that. And so what's interesting is the thing that some people would see as a flaw, the fact that I'm bounce around, I'm high energy, with the ADHD, I can't focus on one thing. It also makes me really good at improvising, right? So even some of the other flaws, like, saying yes too much, that's something that I've addressed because I've had to. But if I look in my past and I embrace that, one of the things that I kind of take away from that is because I said yes to a lot of things, I got a lot of different experiences that told me what I don't want to do, which helped me point in the right direction. So a lot of this is about embracing your past. All right. So I want to share something with you guys. So about embracing. So I used to work at Boys and Girls Club, like I mentioned. I had a student tell me something that really stuck out to me. when I left Boys and Girls Club, this student, her name is Ariana. She happened to be on the spectrum with autism, and I never treated her any differently, right? She's just a great student. She's always liked coding games and stuff like that. And we would tell jokes and, like, just great student. And and I would always try to get her to like volunteer for stuff. Like one time we did a program with Facebook and I'm like, hey, you should be in the coding thing and you should try. And I would call her mom, hey, make sure that Ariana signs up for this and make sure Ariana goes on this field trip because, she's really smart. And so when I left, she said something really powerful. And this is one of the biggest touching moments in my professional life. She said this to me. She said, to dear Mr. Burt, your encouragement and advice has led me to a place I never thought I would go. You see my ability and not my disability. Thank you so much for your mentorship throughout your stay at the Boys and Girls Club of Hudson County. Best of luck. So I thought that was so beautiful, right? So, a lot of people, like, she didn't see herself as disabled, right? She didn't focus on that. She focused on her ability and not her disability. It just so happened that she respected me because I treated her the same way, but that is how she treated herself. So I want us to think about whatever it is that people say is our flaw or, we need to work on. I want us to think about the beauty in this message of like seeing ourselves, and disability could be a metaphor for any flaw. It doesn't have to be like, a traditional disability, but focusing on our ability and not the areas where, society perceives us as broken. So I want you guys to take 30 seconds right now, and you could, again, put this in your notes section or you could put in the chat. Despite your flaws, what is something about you that you appreciate or value or is a strength? Just take 30 seconds to answer that. Someone want to share? Okay, so Jason says staying committed to things. Diana said ability to connect with others. Melanie said always keeping my faith. Jillian said my education. I value my ability to be organized. Raphael said keeping moving forward and doing my best. Roger said being prepared. Shannon said I have eyes to see and ears to hear. Wonderful. Jaskrin said always ready to help everyone without thinking that I will get. So I'm giving without thinking about what I'll get back. Farid said staying positive. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I want you to hold on to those things because, any leadership position is going to involve feedback, right? And you should be, if you're a leader, hold on, there's some more here. I love this. Adrian said, I'm funny, happy. I trust God, looking to the future with hope. Aradatula says failure is not the end. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing these. If I'm not, my apologies. Pronouncing the names right. But yeah, so any situation, and if you're in a leadership situation, you should be asking for feedback on what people think your strengths are and what people think are your areas of growth. I used to do this. I was a president of 2 student groups when I was in college. And at the beginning of every semester, I would say, guys, I know I'm the president, but I want, we're going to do kind of the blind feedback. I want you guys to give feedback on the president and the vice president, where we're strong and areas we can get better. And I'm going to talk about this in a separate section where I talk about being a perfectionist, because a lot of times we think we got it going on in a certain area, and then we find out that that's not really the case. So that's very, very important that we ask for feedback. But we can support ourselves with the feedback by reminding ourselves the things that we're good at. He just said, I can walk through a hurricane and come out with a plan to fix it. Okay, love it. Let me go to the next piece. So right now we're going to talk about this. So the first thing we just talked about was, the importance of embracing your flaws because they make you unique. The second thing we're going to talk about when it comes to kintsugi is reflecting on your past mistakes and lessons learned. Share the screen again. All right. So here's one of the things that's really interesting, right? So we're going to talk about reflecting on your past mistakes and lesson learned. I want to share this is kind of emotional for me. So someone in the chat earlier asked me my age. I want to tell you something, guys. This really did happen. So I was at a leadership program one time, and everyone is sharing all these vulnerable things about trauma they've experienced, things they've gone through, and I'm sharing too. And at one point, someone says, "Oh, that's so interesting. You've been through that. How old are you?" And I think at that point I was maybe like 34, 35. And I didn't want to tell them. And I said, actually, I don't want to share my age. I don't feel comfortable sharing. They're like, you look very young. I'm like, I don't want to share my age. And one of the reasons I didn't, when I look at it, is I felt like for the age that I hadn't accomplished as much as I wanted to. I had felt like I was a failure in music. I felt like I wasn't really chasing my passions. Did anyone here have a friend who, when you guys were younger, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the time I'm 25 or 30, or I'm gonna have a house, or I'm gonna have this, or I'm gonna have that, and just really big dreams. And then as the birthday candles increase on the birthday cake and the accomplishments decrease, it becomes this sinking feeling, right? And that's what I was experiencing. And so it actually was a moment of growth for me to be able to say, no, I'm 39. I turned 40 in June. It was really a moment of growth for me to say that and embrace that. That was something I could not embrace in the past. I'm going to show you guys a clip from when I used to be an educator. I still kind of am an educator in a way, but an educator in a school setting. It's me rapping to my students. And this is a really powerful moment because I'll tell you how I felt when I was doing it, and then a feedback that I got that really crushed me. But let me share my screen again.
Listen. Hey. Yo, look. I'm in my bag like the last thing that crashed on me. See, I got a data with the flats on me. See, every time I'm walking into class, I want to sleep. Remember when you used to only need to have 1 degree? Now you need 1 to 3. That's no guarantee. You might still get a job at a bad company. I got a flyer for a frat party. You can wear pajamas. Whoa. You see the problem? I'm not done. Yo, look. Yo, you see the problem is you always want to study abroad, but if you study hard, you could even study abroad somewhere in Ghana, taking classes in itself to see your mama, but it's not because you're busy chasing Nadiana.
All right, so that was me rapping to my students, trying to encourage them to study abroad and stuff like that. And so everybody knew, okay, Mr. Bert is a rapper, Mr. Bert is a rapper. But one time this student, her name was Genesis, she came up to me and she was like, listen, man, you're always talking about rapping and this and that, but if you're so excited and passionate about music, you tell us to chase your passions. Why are you still here? And I was like, and I couldn't say anything. And it was like demoralizing because listen, there's 100% educators who are in the classroom who have a hobby of hip hop and that's what they love to do. And that's okay. They do both. But my heart was in being in a space where I was using more of my talents as a creator, as a musician, and I wasn't doing that there. I wanted to be able to do that while helping students. And when I got called out, I hit rock bottom. I just really started doubting myself, and that really stung. And I started acting different. I started getting withdrawn. And when I get withdrawn, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys for a second. this is what rock bottom looks like for me. When I get withdrawn, two things I stop doing. I start looking in the mirror when I get depressed, and I start like cleaning my room. And I don't know if you guys ever heard the quote, cluttered mind, cluttered life. And so I just was in a whirlwind because I felt like, you know what? It was too late for me to achieve my dreams. And this is me kind of being hard on myself in my past and my decisions and not going further than I wanted to. And here's what I want to tell you guys, being late was the thing that I was really not embracing. Like in my mind, I felt like I was a late bloomer. But one of the reasons why it's important to embrace your flaws, psychologists have looked at this. When you beat yourself up, it does not make you more likely to change the behavior. It's actually the opposite. So for example, I used to, when I was struggling with weight loss, look in the mirror and say, yo, why are you so fat? Why you eat so much? Why you da-da-da? I would never talk like that to somebody else, right? I would never talk like that to somebody else, but to myself, I'd be like, yo, why you eat so much? Why you can't lose weight? You're this. And what I realized is when I would do that, maybe I'd be motivated for like one day, but then I'd ultimately like, I would make no progress. So beating yourself up psychologically does not actually help you be a better leader. And I know it's easy because I think sometimes we see, athletes like, oh man, I missed the game-winning shot and I'm going to beat myself up. It's actually, they found that being more forgiving of yourself and having more grace with yourself, like, hey, you know what? I wasn't really happy with the grade I got in school. I wasn't really happy with how this meeting went or, how I showed up today at work. I acknowledge that, but I'm going to forgive myself and I'm going to be better tomorrow. That's actually a more effective approach in getting you to change behavior and to become a better leader than to actually say to yourself, okay, I'm going to beat myself up and say I'm XYZ. So do me a favor. Has anyone here have a friend who beats themselves up all the time? Just kind of put in the chat if you know somebody like that. Like they just criticize themselves all the time. Someone says me to myself. Okay. Myself sometimes. Someone says best friends. Now here's my question to you. Whether for that person or for yourself, have you ever been in a situation where someone said or saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself, but because they were so confident, you wanted to live up to that? So I can remember when I was in 7th grade, I had a history teacher. I wasn't a great student at that point. And I remember, hold on, Cynthia says yes. Diana says yes. Adrian says yes, yes. Anna says being kind to yourself is definitely a challenge, but not impossible to accomplish. Yeah, I want to tell you guys. So when I was in 7th grade, I wasn't a great student. And I had this teacher, Mrs. Gould. Still think about her to this day. I was struggling in school, but we had an assignment. I think I had to do a speech in that assignment. And she came up to me and she said, listen, I know that you haven't been getting the best grades in my class, but I just want to let you know the way that you did that speech and the way that you kind of were able to take that assignment and make it yours, I honestly think you could be president of the country one day. Like I just have so much like your ability to communicate ideas effectively. Like you're one of the best students in this class. And when she said that, she said it with so much confidence that I stopped thinking about my accent because I was an immigrant. I didn't speak English that great. I stopped thinking about all the things and I wanted to live up to that version of what she saw. So I just want to give you that story to help you realize that sometimes it's not about beating up ourselves as a leader, but embracing ourselves with kindness and grace that helps us takes the next step. China says, yes, I always like to live up to people's expectations of me. That's awesome. So I'm going to show you a quick video that helped me kind of get back on the right track, just in terms of unlearning this idea that I'm late, as opposed to I'm on time for where need to be, and everybody runs their own race and is on their own journey. So I'm gonna share that right now.
Age 23, Tina Fey was working at the YMCA. At age 23, Oprah was fired from her first recording job. At age 24, Stephen King was working as a janitor and living in a trailer. At age 28, J.K. Rowling was a suicidal single parent living on welfare. At age 30, Harrison Ford was a carpenter. At age 30, Martha Stewart was a stockbroker. At age 39, Julia Child released her first cookbook, and she didn't get her own show until age 51. Vera Wang failed to make the Olympic figure skating team, and she did not make editor-in-chief at Vogue, and then she didn't even make her first wedding dress until age 40. Stan Lee didn't even release his first comic book until he was 40. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get his first movie role until he was 46. Grandma Moses didn't start her painting career until age 76. Whatever your purpose is, it's never too late to go after it. Do that thing that sets your soul on fire. If you are watching this,
Okay. So I'll just pause there. Like, yes, you've seen this video. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know that was really powerful. Wherever you think you are in life, you are right on time for where the universe needs you to be. I want to just affirm you right now and help you realize that. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do our first kind of leadership activity together, right? So one of the things that I like to do, this is a practice I do, is I like to set intentions, as a leader, but from a space of abundance, not from a space of lack. So I'm going to give you an example of how I did this activity, and then we're going to do it together. I'm going to put a PDF in the chat in a second. So when I put the PDF in the chat, you're going to go through this activity, Year of Gratitude. And what you're going to do is you're going to write 5 good things or moments that happened to you last year, 3 accomplishments you're proud of, 2 biggest lessons learned, and building on success. What are 2 things you want to do more in the new year? The reason I do this is because a lot of times people set goals from the energy of like, oh my gosh, I feel overweight, I need to lose weight. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't make enough money, I need to make more money, right? So they're starting from a place of what I don't have. The purpose of this is, oh my gosh, look at these great moments that happened last year. Look at the lessons I learned. Look what I'm proud of. I will build on that. So it's a shift in energy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put this the blank version in the chat. I'm going to give you guys about like 6 minutes. Don't overthink it. You can spend more time on it at home. I'm going to give you guys 6 minutes or so. And then what you're going to do is you can either, if you have pen and paper, you could do that. Or if you want to just do it in your phone or your notes app. But I'll put the PDF in the chat and you can follow along. You can open up notes on your computer or your phone once you get the PDF. So I'm going to drop that in the chat now. So when I drop it in the chat, just make sure that you guys let me know that you guys have been able to access it. So chat, add a file. Okay. Can everyone just put a 1 in the chat if you're able to, or 1 in the chat if you're able to access it? Okay, fantastic. So we're going to take about 5 minutes. I'm going to share my screen. All right, guys. So you guys are working through next 5 minutes. Just answer these questions for yourself. If you want, you can put them in a notes on your phone. One minute left, guys. About a minute left. Okay, all right. So, does anybody want to share? What was one of the lessons that they learned last year, and what are some things they do want to do more in the new year? Anyone want to share? How did it feel doing that activity, by the way? Was that helpful? Awesome. Adrian said very helpful. Happy to hear that. Really happy to hear that. Awesome. So yeah, anyone want to share one of the lessons that they learned last year? I'll start. So one of the ones that I learned was, you know, just because I'm being busy doesn't mean I'm being productive. That was definitely a lesson I learned last year. Another one I learned was I need to work harder on myself than I do on my business or my work or my projects, because I realized that if I'm not working on myself, even if I'm working hard on my project or business, I'm going to burn out. I'm not going to be at my best self. And eventually, I'm not going to be leading the way that I want to lead. And the other thing I learned was I have value and I contribute. I think a lot of times, you know, I question whether I have value. I have imposter syndrome sometimes. And I realize, people value my opinion. They value the work that I do. And I don't always have to feel like I have to prove myself all the time. That was something I definitely encouraged. So anybody else want to share?
Yes, I would like. It's Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia.
Yeah. Um, the two biggest lesson I learned last year is keep my life and my goals private. And the second one is do what makes you happy. People will always judge you.
Wow, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to do for this year is taking care of myself and be kind with myself. And for this year, I would like to work on my novel and project. I would like to write a book.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Make sure you get my email at the end. Let me know how I can help. So I've written a book and I have a process of how to write a book. So I'm happy to shoot me an email at the end. Happy to support with that. Someone
Okay.
said lessons I
Thank
learned from last year was work hard and don't settle. If you're unhappy, speak up. Angela says it's important to let go of things that no longer serve you. Amen. Malika said I manifested being booked and busy. That drained me now. And now I'm trying to balance self-care and rest with going to events. Anna said, I feel adamant about working hard and getting an education and work hard to achieve these things. Then why not feel adamant about personal growth? Wow. And if I don't get passionate and defensive about my mind, body, and heart, that's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, great. Keisha, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I wanted to say I kind of had a little reality check last year. My lesson was 10 years ago, I was in Oregon and I prayed to God to help me change my life. And if it was meant for me to come to New York, I would. And last year made my 10th year here and I have. So the lesson was to just be patient and keep doing what I need to do.
I love that. That's very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. That's very powerful. Thank you so much. Manifesting it. Okay, great. So thank you guys for doing that activity. I want to share. We're going to go to the next piece. This is really what I'm about to share. Everybody just kind of perk up your ears. This is one of the most important parts of the presentation. So I want to share with you guys why, someone said, leading is a finished product. We were talking about that earlier. Why am I focusing on, can you still lead as an imperfect leader? What I'm about to say here is probably the most important idea in the presentation. Perfection is insecurity disguised. And let me tell you why it's not really worth trying to lead as a perfect leader. Again, remember what we said. You have to embrace what's broken in you to find what's, type it in the chat, golden in you. You have to embrace what's broken in you to find what's what? Type it in the chat. So let me break this down. Has anyone ever heard New Year, New Me? Anybody heard that? at, you know, New Year's Eve or the first couple days on social media? Who heard New Year, New Me? If you heard New Year, New Me anytime on social media or recently, just said yes, right? So here's what's interesting about that. It's a little insidious. So New Year, New Me is really a phrase that I think we need to go away from, because what it implies is we need to discard the past version of ourselves, that the past version of ourselves doesn't have any value or it doesn't have any worth. It's not about New Year, New You. It's about New Year, next best version of you, right? It's still you. You're embracing who you were, but you're becoming a better version of that, not just erasing and kind of not acknowledging who you were. Keisha put, I created a quote, perfection is personal preference and perception. Very interesting quote. Thank you for sharing that. So let me tell you why this is a really important thing. Perfection is a mask for insecurity. I'm gonna show you a quick video.
I have not been able to just get off my ass and just music.
So what are you doing instead?
I've been watching just Netflix.
There's a deeper reason, you know that, right? It's because you either don't really believe in your music or like
I'm trying to perfect it too much.
You are making up perfection. Perfection. You got your.
I have not been able to just get off my ass.
So I'll pause that real quick. So what's interesting about that video is this person is saying they're a perfectionist about their music, but what were they doing instead of working on their music? What did they say?
Watching Netflix.
Watching Netflix. We've all been there. I've been there. And what happens is it's masking the insecurity of, and I've been through this, of wanting to release and have the world see you. And that's it. And so then we fill that time with things that don't serve us because we're so focused on the perfect. So being a perfectionist is a trap. But here's one of the biggest ideas of the presentation, why it doesn't even matter if you're perfect. So Harvard did a study of the top executives, so the people who run the biggest companies in the world, and they found that 79% of those executives, CEOs, leaders have a blind spot. So a blind spot is something that you think is a strength, but it's actually a weakness. Think about that for a second. Does anybody here have a friend who thinks they're hilarious and really funny, but the jokes don't really hit like that? You know, like, don't say their name, don't be mean. Or does anyone have someone who thinks they're a great delegator, but then you're like, no, they're not. They're always taking shine from other team members, and they always have to be the one that does everything. They actually don't know how to let go of control. Does anyone know someone like that who thinks they're good at something, but it's actually a weakness? You're saying no. Some of you saying yes. So here's what's interesting. Has anyone here heard a story about an imperfect leader in the news in the last couple years, whether it's sports, politics, and, you know, education, schools? Has anyone heard any stories about that? Right? So the world is surrounded by imperfect leaders, and even the good ones are imperfect, to the point that most of these ones who we think are perfect, I don't care if it's a CEO of Disney, they have one thing that they think they're amazing at that's actually a weakness, right? And so, you know, if you think that, like, for example, I used to think that I was including everybody in my team meetings when we would do student leadership, and I found out by getting some feedback that I was doing most of the talking and talking over everybody. I thought I was sociable and I was including everybody, and they were like, no, actually you cut people off during the meetings, and you don't let their ideas shine. So it was important to realize even leaders who we think are perfect or on, they're not really. And here's the other reason why it's important to not chase perfection. Everybody's lying. Everybody's cat. Does anyone know what the word cap means? Like if someone, I'm capping. Someone put in the chat. If someone is yeah, it's a lie. Everybody's lying. I'll prove it to you. Look at this video. Hold on.
Do you remember the Bow Wow challenge? Back in 2017, the rapper Lil Bow Wow posted a tweet about his press tour alongside a picture of a private jet, obviously implying that he had taken the photo and that was his mode of transport. However, a Twitter user then posted an image exposing that Bow Wow was actually just on the same commercial flight as them, and people eventually found out that the photo Bow Wow had used was just taken from a private transport company's website. For the next week, the internet clowned on Bow Wow endlessly by posting their own fake flexes on social media alongside the hashtag Bow Wow Challenge, the most notable participant being 50 Cent.
Okay, so this was the thing that went viral on social media, a few years ago. So Bow Wow, a guy who's, if you're not familiar with Bow Wow, the musician, he's been in movies, he's been a rapper, he's been successful since he was like a child star. Even he was feeling the need to say, I'm actually on this private jet while I'm flying commercial, because he felt the need to have this perfect look of this super successful artist, even though he was very successful, right? So the people that we look to in the magazines, in the social, and look, I was on a reality show this year. I'll tell you right now, a lot of the stuff that you see on TV that you think is real is not 100% real. There's a lot of stuff, so it doesn't become fruitful to chase perfection. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're gonna do the next activity. We kind of talked about so far seeing the beauty in your flaws, they make you unique. That's the Kintsugi concept. Embracing your past mistakes and lessons, and that perfection is insecurity disguised. So now we're gonna do an activity to set our direction. The purpose of this is for us to understand where we are and where we're going. So have some grace with yourself. So the way this activity is going to go, I'm going to put it in the chat in a second, is it's called the Wheel of Life worksheet. So this is an example. So each circle is an area of life: career, leisure, fun, family, health, social life, spirituality, finance, personal growth. Now, some of these things may be more important to you than others. That's okay. What you're going to do is, when I put this in the chat, you're going to rank on a scale of 1 to 10 your satisfaction in each of these areas, right? And you're going to answer, which areas are the most satisfying and the areas you want to have the most growth. It's important to take this assessment at the beginning of the year, because if you notice, it's like a wheel. So let's say, this is 1, 2, 3. So let's say, like for me, I'm not that great at finance. I'm doing pretty good at career. I'm doing really good at family. So like if this was my wheel, I'd be here, 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 down here, here. I don't know if you can see the thing moving, but like it wouldn't be a sturdy wheel, right? Because different parts are spokes. So think about a bicycle, aren't really put as strong as they need to be. So that gives us where we need to focus as leaders and embrace ourselves from a positive place. So I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on that. So when I put it in the chat, please everyone let me know that they got it. And by the way, this is a great activity to do if you're in a student group or a student leader. This is a great activity to do with your team at the beginning of the year. All right, so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to work on this. All right, 29 more seconds, guys. All right, guys. So we're gonna have a few people share. Does anyone want to share what was the area of the, first of all, how did you guys feel doing this activity? Was it helpful for you guys, this activity? Awesome. What I would love for you guys to do is to share what was your area of your life that you had the most satisfaction in? You could say it out loud or
Personal growth.
awesome. And who was that? Just when you share, could you say your name just so I know who it was? Okay, someone said spirituality, someone said family, someone said health. Love it. Now, was anybody surprised? Did anyone fill this out and get surprised, whether it's something you were satisfied at or something you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I don't spend this much time in this area of my life? Was anyone surprised by any of the results? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just kind of sharing, what was it about it that surprised you? I think Shanna said they were surprised.
So the thing that about it that surprised me was that it was very evened out. Like, what's the balance? I'm like, oh, this is very balanced results. It's like one thing, it was like a rippling effect of everything in my life. So that was very surprising to me because I thought I would feel, in certain areas like we're better than others, but it's like pretty balanced. Yeah, it was pretty balanced. So that was very surprising because I'm thinking like, oh no, this area I'm doing better or this area I'm doing worse. But I'm like, no, I'm basically doing a nice the same in everywhere.
I love that. I love that. Um, so does anyone want to share what was the area they felt like they were least satisfied in? So I'll share. So I did it on my phone. Um, areas I was most satisfied in was family and career, um, and social life, which surprised me. Areas that I want to tackle that I was least satisfied in are finance, personal growth, and health. They weren't bad per se, but they weren't where I wanted to be. Um, so yeah. Does anyone want to share what was the area that they were least satisfied in? Someone said career. Anybody else want to share? Finance and career. Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Some of you guys are saying finance and career, absolutely. And then so what I would encourage you guys for Reach that Social Life, what I would encourage you guys to do, I'm gonna put a third we don't have time for me to walk you through it just because of the length of this presentation. But when I do workshops on campuses that are longer, we definitely get to do it. What I would encourage you to do is your next step is to look at what was the area you wanted to focus on and then you want to establish some routines and habits. So we've already talked about intentions. A lot of people focus on goals. I think more important than goals is the routines and habits. So for me, for example, personal growth, one of the routines that I want to establish is reading for a few minutes every morning. And I found this gratitude questionnaire that I'll be doing that I can email you guys if you guys follow up as well. So I'm going to put in the chat. Hold on one second. I'm going to put in the chat a creating healthy routines habit guide. I'll walk you through it first. Let me just share my screen. So this is going to be the next step for everybody. Oh, hold on, Anna, I'm sorry. I skipped your comment. Said I was least satisfied in that I started to practice better time management. I found out as it got better, I was not happy about that. It didn't reflect the quality I gave time to things I didn't give time to. I felt rushed but organized. Okay, yeah. So you're starting to realize the trade-off of what things were you sacrificing. So thank you for sharing that. So your next step, I'm going to put this in. This is going to be kind of what you guys do later today. If you guys can see my screen, planning your routine. So these are the questions that, you're going to look at the areas you want to focus on in your wheel that you want to give attention to. And you want to identify what are 3 or 4 things you want to be part of your routine. You want to answer what gets in the way of accomplishing your goals or tasks above. Maybe it's, you got to find childcare. Maybe it's you have to work a part-time job while going to school. Could be a bunch of things. And then what are things you can do to address the barriers you wrote down in the box to the left? So for example, I want to read more in the morning. Part of the reason I don't is because I end up waking up tired and kind of rushing to what I got to do. One thing I could do is sleep earlier, avoid the blue screen, that blue light. So I wake up a little bit more refreshed with a little bit more time to read and to keep the book at my nightstand. So it's right there. I don't have to look for it. And you'll see that there's a column there that says support. The purpose of that is who's going to be your accountability partner. That's important because, everybody knows the person who's like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym at 5 a.m. every day, on every Monday in the new year. But the person who actually says, no, I'm going to meet my friend Jenny or Craig at the gym is more likely to do it. And then the last part of this is how can you reward yourself for successfully making new things part of your routine? So I'm going to put this in the chat. This is something you guys are going to work on at home, but I'm going to just give me the thumbs up that you've got that. But I definitely want you guys to, or I'll even give you 2 minutes to start it. We won't have time to finish because we have to, kind of wrap up soon, but I'll put it in the chat. I'll give you guys like 2 minutes or so. But this is something that I definitely walk through when I do longer presentations. So I'm gonna put that in the chat for you guys. Bring that up. All right, so this is so just give me the thumbs up that you guys got this handout. I'm gonna give you guys. All right, so very quickly as we wrap up, this is a thing I like to do in the mornings, or I'm committing to doing in the morning is it's a recap. It's a gratitude recap. Like I said, personal growth is my big thing. If you guys want, I can send this to you. Just, take my email me at the end. But it says, what am I grateful for? What is my most important task today? What's a story worthy moment that happened yesterday? How am I feeling? Would I like to feel? What's working now? What could be better? So these are just 5 minutes in the morning. If you do this, it's a nice little meditative task. It'll be a great way to set the tone in the mornings. But just email me and I'll send this to you. So guys, again, I hope we realize today the importance of it's okay to be imperfect leader. We have to embrace what's broken in you to find what's golden in you. We have to embrace what's broken in you to what? Type it in the chat. Find what's what?
Golden.
There we go. There we go. That's the energy I'm looking for. I love it.
I was like, it's gonna take too long to type.
Got you. So I'm going to share with you a quick, why this is important. Of 2019, a few years ago in Hostos, I was talking about the areas where I was broken, and I'll kind of give you what happened from there when I did this process. If you go to what is Bert's remove the lid goal, we're going to set these one in a second. My goal is spend 24 hours a week working on goals that are aligned with my purpose. So I call them happy hours, which means finishing or releasing my album, creating a hip hop STEM camp, and vlogging. Okay, so that was me in 2019, just talking about things that, I had not been given time to. And since then, I have released my album. You were here the whole time. It's available on Bandcamp. Most of the songs are available on Spotify. I think I got like 9 or 10 songs on Apple Music, Spotify, all YouTube, all those streaming services. Since then, I've been on a reality show. I've been vlogging more. I've been on several podcasts. Again, it was just me embracing the parts that were broken in me that allowed me to create that. I created a short video kind of showing a recap of where I've been. I get emotional watching it, but I wanted to share with you guys just so you know what's possible if you apply Kintsugi and embrace what's broken in you to find what's golden in you.
Finally embraced my passion to do what I love full time.
Oh, just one more thing. The person you need to be is already inside of you. You were here the whole time.
2023, it's really us. We don't do it for the cloud, it's really us. We really are. We're about to tear the city up. I hear you calling me, and I'm everywhere. Time to see you. It's not a lot of happy at this happy hour. It's not a lot of happy at this happy hour. It's not a lot of happy at this happy hour. Just Hennessy, Patron, and Amaretto Sour. I put the city on my back, so they rockin' with me. But I still put on a mask, the imposter in me. Scared to shoot my shot, but nobody told cool coach to pass. Why you so obsessed with time? That's not a Hublot. Relax. Just the inner voice that says you're too old to rap. Trying to get these commas up and focus on my wealth. Forgot to hit my mama up and checking on her health. No bad energy, remove that. I just hit my therapist on Zoom chat. I think and grow rich with these 7 habits. Rich dad want me not to buy expensive fabrics. I ain't listen, I was chasing status. Grateful that this morning that I woke up on the right side. But I know I made a couple bad choices off the moonshine. Bill's late, but it's A-OK. I went from Bel Air Lux back to J. Roger. Then back to Bel Air like the reboot. Everything I lost, man, I promise I'ma recoup. Girl want carrots, can't afford pea soup. I was so embarrassed, feel like rice paper she could see through. Here's the part I'm not revealing. I'd be a millionaire if I wasn't in my feelings. They say don't let the money transform ya. Kinda like a wolf under the moonlight.
All right. Awesome. So, what we're gonna do now too is we're gonna take a quick survey. Before we do that, I'm gonna put my link in the chat. It actually has the Spotify from my new song, "Talking to My Therapist." It just released. You guys can stream it if you have Spotify. I believe it's on YouTube if you search it. If not, you could just email me. I will literally send you the song. So I appreciate you guys for the support. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to do a quick survey. Let me just share the screen. Oops, sorry. Guys, remember, embrace what's broken in you to find what's gold in you. And if none of the things we talked about today helped, there's always a little baby listening to the whole thing. Works for me every time. All right, so we're gonna do the survey. I'm gonna put the survey link in the chat. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me just do that. So when I put the survey link in the chat, what you guys are gonna do is you guys are gonna go to this link and you're gonna type in the code Wakanda. So go to the survey. I like that movie, guys. Code is Wakanda. So again, survey link. So I'm gonna pick one person from the survey. I want the most detailed response to get a prize. So share my screen here. Guys, just give me a thumbs up you're able to access the survey. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to that link. Once you type in that link, you should be able to type in. Link's not working. Let me try it again. Hold on a second. Let me try it again. Is anyone else having the same issue? The link not working? Let me see. Oh, I got it. I got to put the www down in front of it. Sorry. I'm going to put it back in the chat. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me know. Can you guys try it again? See if the survey works. If that link works. We're going to take 2 minutes to do the survey.
So I'm just gonna hop on here, Bert, because I know some people might have to leave right at noon.
Okay.
I just want to thank you, those of you who are here with us, for being here with us to start off the workshops this week. Thank you, Bert, for taking us on this journey, this new journey, and for reflecting on some of the past opportunities that we've shared together. I really appreciate you always putting these thoughtful presentations together and being so thoughtful and honest, and expressing your true emotions and really getting to the heart of the matter. So I thank you for that. And as we go through the week, we have a number of different things. I did make a promise to CCSD that I would share about the upcoming event that's going to happen in late February, for students to go and advocate on behalf of other students. So that's from Leonard Blades of CCSD, and you can register there. I'll share that throughout the course of the week. I also want to thank you. Before we started, I didn't mention that we're going to record this. We are going to record these for prosperity, to keep track of, the accomplishments of what we've been doing. And as you've seen, you can be flexible with the presenters if you want to come on screen or you don't want to. So we thank you for all those folks who participated in whatever way they participated. All of a sudden, I'm getting all sorts of alerts on my computer. And that being said, I'll let Bert close it out. I just wanted to make sure that we get updates to everybody else too.
Yes, absolutely. So really quickly, I just put my contact information in the chat. If anybody has any questions, want resources, definitely feel free to reach out to me. BertGBookings@gmail is the email, and then I have my social media as well. You know, if any of you guys are on programming committees at different schools, I do a lot of different workshops. If you felt like this was useful and would benefit the students at your campus, let me know. My information is there. We can definitely set up a meeting. We have Black History stuff. We have stuff for mental health for men. So guys, definitely keep in touch. So let me just share with you guys. This is a really, really exciting day for me. First of all, just thank you, Jason. You have been a true friend, someone who believed in me and saw something in me before other people saw it. And it in turn allowed me to see it as well. So thank you genuinely for that. There's a new chapter in my life. Part of why I'm so reflective is I recently got engaged on New Year's Day when the ball dropped. And so thank you. You guys are hearing before social media, so you guys are getting the exclusive here. Yeah, this is a really thank you. She actually, my fiance actually was a speaker last year, so it's wild for the host. So it's kind of wild, but yes, thank you guys. So do me a favor. Man, I should have asked for your feedback before I told you that, because I feel like I'm not gonna get objective feedback because everyone's all warm fuzzy. All right, well, listen, I'm gonna accept and have grace in myself. If you felt like you learned something today and you felt like you learned something while being engaged, just put yes in the chat. Put yes me in the chat if you felt like you learned while being engaged. If you felt like this was useful information that you can apply. Fantastic. Well, listen, guys, all of you, Chana, Tona J, Raphael, all of you are amazing leaders. It's not about being a finished product. It's about, accepting that we are works in progress. And if we can embrace what's broken in us, we can find what's golden in us. And so I really thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for staying on. I know it's my time. Yeah, if you guys want to just put in the comment, what was your favorite part of today? Someone just said the worksheet. What was the most valuable part of today? What was the biggest thing you learned? Put it in the chat. It helps me kind of understand how to support you guys in the future. Just put in the chat. What was the number one thing you learned, or the best activity, best thing that you got from today? Awesome. Thank you. Perfection is insecurity design. 23 reflection and Kintsugi, embracing imperfection, be okay with it. The first worksheet was helpful. We're now knowing how we feel, how we could always progress. And I said, thank you for being transparent. Those are real leadership qualities to learn from and grow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, this was amazing. Keep in touch. Like I said, my email is there. We can definitely stay in touch and I can support you guys. Follow me on Instagram. I post, positive stuff. I'll post it in there too. If everyone would take a minute to just follow me, I'd love to stay in touch with you guys. So Bert G Music, same thing on Facebook and all the other platforms. So thank you. Stay in touch. We'll definitely talk soon. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you again, Bert. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope to see you at one of the other workshops this week. We've got a lot of exciting things to come. Reach out to me if you have any questions about anything that's going on. You have my information in the emails. And if you need any other information, please feel free to reach out. And Bert, take care. Congratulations again. Good luck with everything. And please stay in touch always.
Will do. Take care, guys.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Have a great day later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.